Good day, everybody. Steve here. How are you all doing? I'm walking into a mild headwind that I hope isn't going to mess with my audio too much. I think I'll be all right. Anyway, it's March 18th, 2021. Y'all know what that means. It's time for another story from this day in history. And before we get going, remember to like, share, subscribe, hit up my Patreon, all those various methods you can use to help a little channel like mine grow. The link to my Patreon is in the description, as well as the links to my Instagram and Facebook pages closely related to the content I am producing here. All that said, let's get to today's story. And it's sexist. Today's story takes us back to March 18th, 1918. And while a lot of the stories I'm covering are based out of Oregon, where I live, every so often I'm gonna find something from somewhere else. And today's story comes out of Olympia, Washington, the capital of the state to our north, the evil bastards. And it's just another example in a long list of various instances where it's like, okay, you just did that because you're sexist and you're just pissed. You can't handle that women are getting more rights, so you're finding really ridiculous means to restrain women. Now, this is 1918, so we're still 2 years away from women even getting the right to vote. And the Industrial Welfare Commission, as it was called, they had opened up jobs to women in various fields that were kind of interesting, in particular for the time. Like, I noticed they said that women had recently become eligible to work as bridge watchers, which that's such a cool concept and such a I wouldn't think about that when I'm job searching. You know what, Ma? You know what I want to do? I want to be a bridge watcher. And I'm not knocking it. It sounds like an awesome job. I'm just saying that wouldn't be the first thing that would come into my head. So I thought that was interesting. So, I mean, on the side of it, the article almost seemed like it was using that to defend this welfare commission. We're letting women have some jobs. So, those of you young feminists, we're giving you something. I'm almost wondering if that was the attitude, because this is a very brief article. Again, I wouldn't even really call it an article. It's a snippet. I barely even call it a snippet. And that was how it ended, was this well, women are getting jobs in these other fields now. They're being allowed to do this stuff. So the crux, this is some of the dumbest this is some of the dumbest stuff I've ever heard. The article that was published was specifically in relation to bowling alleys. And as it was reported, March 18th, 1918, just a little over 100 years ago, apparently this Industrial Welfare Commission passed a regulation that said that women could not set up bowling pins at a bowling alley. It's not even the fact that is such a dumb thing to restrict someone from doing, especially if you're giving someone of that same sex jobs watching bridges and doing other highly more significant stuff. That's not even what bothers me the most. It's just that they honestly felt it was necessary to take the time and the pain to actually gather and discuss and produce. There had to be some form of paperwork. There had to be some form of mild legislation that they put out. They actually took the time to sit and discuss and organize and produce, again, I would call it, a resolution that women can't set up bowling pins in a bowling alley. I wish this was a joke, but who would come up with a joke that stupid? Like, it just, that's what got my attention, was why would somebody go through the time and jump through the hoops to prevent women from doing such a mundane job? And because nowadays we have machines, but way back in the day, people would have to like go out there and set up, they had the markers on the alleyway to set the pins on. It was like, what, you thought women weren't capable of finding the mark? It seemed like this was just an effort on the commission's part. Again, this had to be a commission of probably all men, all white men, if we're really going to get down to it. And this was just a bunch of guys who were probably not super happy that women were gaining very slowly more opportunities in the workplace. And so they were taking to such ridiculous, petty actions as this, preventing women from working a job that a 3-year-old could do. So it was a simple story, it was a simple snippet, but the moment I saw the title of the piece, which is, women aren't allowed to set up bowling pins, I was like, well, I don't care that there's barely any information here. This is the story for the day, because this is one of the dumbest damn things I've ever seen. Even for that time, this is some dumb stuff. So I just had to, post it, especially for its time. We're still 2 years out from women getting the right to vote. As a society, we treat women horribly, but then when the war effort comes along, we expect them all to become Rosie the Riveters, which they did for the most part. And then when the war was over and the men came back, it was like, oh, thank you, go back to your housework. Just, sometimes the stuff just don't make no sense. So I just had to do that for today's story. It's a short one, but sometimes I like them dumb. And all that said, as a gentle breeze comes in, quit messing with my audio. Thank you so much for watching today's video, truly from the heart. Remember, you want to help a little channel like mine grow, remember to like, share, subscribe, that's a big one. Hit up my Patreon if you want to help me out that way. Sorry I'm having to talk louder, but there's a busy street right here. So I'll do the next best thing, which is just walk away. The link to my Patreon is in the description with this video, along with the links to my Instagram and Facebook pages, closely related to the content that I am producing both here and on my other YouTube channel, my primary channel, Steve the Amateur Historian. Go there and give it a subscribe as well. You'll probably, if you like the stuff I'm putting up here, you're gonna like the stuff that's over there as well. And all that said, till next time, this has been Steve. Catch you later.